Welcome to the nightly vid. Starting with the indexes, we saw most things continue as we expected yesterday to the highs, and they bought on Monday, came back Tuesday to buy more. We've got long green bars, full time from continuity. No reason to believe this can't go further. We do have a lot of news this week, so we're just going to be aware of that. If we go to Wednesday, not going to have as much. You'll have Powell speaking. You will have crude numbers. So tomorrow morning, these crude numbers are going to be, the most interesting stuff to us. Most of the rest of the market will be continuation. As we had seen today, we had, you see 80 and 87% updates. This is what a market rally looks like. So we want to see if that continues to follow through, and it's highly likely to do so. Like last night, we said the market was kind of flat, kind of boring recently. And then last night we said, now's the time to start doing things, and we were correct. So we'll see if those algorithms continue to buy for us. That being said, into tomorrow, the energies will be, where we have the energy numbers. Momentum shooter XLE. It is a two week to the downside still. XOP still 2 down as well. A slight green day here, so we'll see. OIH, slight green day. So we'll see if they're 3-2 reversals or if they're continuations with the energy numbers. And that tells you things like FANG, XOM, momentum shooter, Oxy, momentum shooter. Mental lapse here. Hess, Amarada Hess, momentum shooter. So we'll keep an eye on some of those high liquid names, see what they want to do. We have uranium stuff this week, which is still firm. For those that are playing the broadening formation expansion of this, I pointed it out, and we're looking ideally, all-time highs. So as long as we can stay out of this broadening formation, might take 10 years, might take 2 years, but all-time highs with the AI demand for energy, it's definitely something to keep in mind. It tells you things like CCJ, which you'll see is doing the same thing. We pointed this out for the strat alerts. .ai guys, we will see SMR doing the same thing. Like, these are some crazy charts. Oklo, not quite as strong, but 2-2 on a Tuesday, so we'll see if they follow through in there. And if energy numbers affect that at all, probably not for the uranium sector. And then outside of that, we saw a lot of stuff from last night's vid taken off. So we talked about the chips, the semis, these guys all took off. So LRCX, inside day and up. Did you know? Yep. Boom. AMAT. Did you know? You did. Boom. MXPI. Did you know? Boom. All right. A little bit less so, but we'll see if they follow through. If we go to TSM, did you know? Boom. Up they go. NVIDIA. Boom. 3-2 on a Tuesday. AMD. 3-2 on a Tuesday. So they're just gunning. And this AMD was a very nice PMG we discussed in the Discord, actually. In the free section, we do talk about a lot of stuff there. If you don't pay, there's a lot of good traders in there, so feel free to join up. But that being said, a lot of chips going and a lot of technologies. So the leaders this week are going to look like this. Car in the industrials, really gunning, been a lot higher. Strat attack in car, and we'll make sure this list, we get it pointed out here. And I'm trying to keep track of all this here for you guys. So we'll see car in there. We'll have SMR, which is your utility / uranium coin. You see 3-2 just blasting off. DXCM, holy moly, that was quite the 2-2 on a Tuesday setup. Look at this PMG. It's a crazy one. This is one we talked about, not this month, but last month's monthly vid above 73.72, and up they go. Have they been higher? They have. Where's your broadening formation? It's right up in here, so still going for your monthly traders. And this is sorted by percent. So we're starting to get into some of the smaller names in here. AEVA, definitely an interesting one. Never heard of it. So I'll add that as a small capper. And then E looks like more utility / uranium. All right, now let's take a look at the dollar change. ASML, you'll see Strat Attack 2 up to start the week. Gunning on the month from our monthly videos and the chips we put out 2 months ago, telling you to go buy the chips. It's a beautiful thing to know about. We'll have KLAC in there, and then LRCX, AMAT, TSMs, all those chippers. Meta from last night's vid. It's not, it's 2 weeks, so you have that going the rest of the week as well. Goldman Sachs. Trying to get through here quickly tonight. CLS, so that was from the nightly vid. 2-2 on a Tuesday. Rev Strat with full time from continuity. That's a beautiful one, right? 5% in a day. We love to see it. So we will have this as your Strat Attack. Inside days, we're probably going to have not many, but we'll take a look either way. So DE, they had some slight triangle out in here. Then inside day, as such. If we go to crowd in the tech, 3-1 day, kind of just grinding up to the highs on the month. Very green year. Teslers, they have a lot of robotaxi news and stuff going on. So Tesla, Uber, those guys can just be, names if you're looking to trade the headliners. You can see Uber with some bad Tesla news. They just went flying today. Amgen, bright red bars inside day, so I'll get that on the list. NRG, that could turn into a fun one in the energies. 1-1-3-1 2-day, which could cause the Rev Strat week maybe back through this previous range, although not the biggest range, about 4%. Looks like staples, we got a lot of hammers in here, so we'll have Hershey's in there. So I'll have XLP, which gives you Hershey's, which gives you Philip Morris. Go take a look at Hershey's. You'll see the inside day could trigger the inside week, which would trigger the 2-2 month and have it going, although no monthly magnitude. So mind the Rev Strat against that. Philip Morris would just be continuation, but we'll see what comes of it. Let's see if we got anything else interesting setting up. I see a lot of healthcares, Guild. Slightly lower lows on the day, followed by inside bar. And this one normally is a pretty fun one to trade. They've been going a little bit. Let's see what the month looks like at this point. So it is a 2, but mother bar, so just be aware of that. But we have the triangle layout to get that stuff moving for us, the slight lower lows. So we'll have that in there with the healthcares. In the gappers, NTRS inside day, no range to come through. Now we're starting to get into a lot of the nobodies here. Last thing I'm going to do is just sort by average true range, see if we're missing any of the movers in here. Doesn't look like we are. So kind of like we expected, we're not going to have a ton of inside days, but there's a few of them in there. The other thing we can look for is, shooters, ideally rev strats, if we have any of them. So see if we have any shooter days. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, a little bit, not so much. Norwegian Cruise Lines, a little bit of a shooter there as well. Tells us, let's take a look at airlines. Not seeing much change there. And what I'm going to do to just make this simpler, since there's about 57 shooters, so I'm going to copy that list, filter them for red on the month, just so we have some of the weaker ones to see who's setting up the other way. Forgive the dogs in the background. Just a lot of nobodies on here. So yeah, really, most of the market's going up, a lot of nobodies on the downside, and that's a good thing. It tells you most things are going higher, and we don't get a lot of signals to change that, besides maybe some momentum shooters energies, which you've already covered. So going into tomorrow, here's your strat attack, right? You'll have technology stocks on there if you want to pick your favorites, and I don't want to forget to have hood in here as well with coin. But that is what we've got. Adios, everyone. See you guys bright and early in the morning, and have a good rest of your morning or rest of your night.